Still waiting for it to come up on the channel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuning into a special presentation of OCR TV here, covering the PRN Xfinity series. We're here to bring you some wild and hot action, just like we did last Friday night here with our truck series. It was a great show, Matt, as we saw 31 trucks battle with only 4 cautions. So we expect to see the same kind of battle tonight with 30 P cars here at Charlotte.
Oh, for sure, Thomas. And I know the track's gonna be just a little bit slicker than it was there the other night with the trucks. The daytime and the track temperature is quite sizzling, so it might be a little bit more slick out there. You might see a couple more cautions, but I don't know if you'll see more than 5 because these guys are just wheelmans, I guess.
Well, they treat incidents pretty severe here in PRN, so it makes for a better show overall.
Yeah, you do not want to get incidents because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas, every incident you get is 1 point off of your season. So say you get 10 incidents in a race, that you mean you lose 10 points, and that could be crucial for you to win the championship at the end of the year.
Very true. Every little incident counts, and they all sit and we went over this last week. They all sit in the same team speak together, so they all go over the same drama with each other. If there's anything, I'm sure they can hash it out right then and there and move on about their day.
That's the thing that's crazy to me is everybody's in there together. It's usually like whenever I race, you're always in different channels and you can kind of vent off as you wish about another driver that did you wrong or something like that. You can't do that in there without the other driver hearing you.
Well, talking about hearing, we got just a few minutes left here in qualifying. We can tell you right now that David Cater sits top of the board with a 28:39. Followed by Craig White sitting P2 with a 28:45. So that's your top 2. As Chuck Sweeting's going to round out your top 3 there, man.
Well, what I'm looking at here is the 4 James Howard. I was looking through the stats there. James has won 4 out of the last 9 races. He's won 4 out of 8 that he competed in. So he's, 4 out of 9 that he's competed in. So he's looking pretty good.
So you're saying keep an eye on him?
I think he's gonna be a threat here at the end of this race.
Well, he's rocking the Verizon-looking Wrangler scheme there, so it's pretty interesting.
I'm liking it.
It fits. Not sure the company would care for those colors.
No, and the other one I'm going to be watching here is the 11 of Robert M. Edwards. He has 6 top 5s and 8 starts this season, and he's your current point leader here in the PRN Xfinity Series. So he's definitely another one to be watching.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, we said it last week when we were in the trucks, man. There's just so much action throughout the whole pack. It's hard to even keep up with what's going on.
That's very true, and especially here at Charlotte, where we can see usually 2 grooves kind of fix themselves in. If you don't like the low side, then the high side might work for you. So,
especially with it being so hot and slick, like you said, Matt. I don't want to say we will, but I'm pretty confident we'll see an upper groove maybe work in this B car, especially through 1 and 2.
I think you're right, Thomas. 1 and 2 seem to be the best spot in the trucks, and I believe it's going to be the good spot here in the nice hot, slick temperatures we have today.
Well, that's going to wrap up qualifying, and like we said earlier, David Cater going to sit atop of the board there with Craig White going to round out your front row for him. That's definitely a stout showing there from Mr. Cater. As a P6 in practice, ended up with a pole, so a good little pickup there.
It is a really good pickup, and the one I was looking at here was who was it? Just lost him. Oh, the 51 of Jeffrey Marble. He was 23rd in practice with a 28.88, but in qualifying he came back with a 5th place performance with a 28.55. So
something tells me he may have been sandbagging a little bit in practice, or just didn't get that Q run in.
Yeah, he might have thrown out the sandbags and strapped himself in for Houghton. Looking at this, though, Chuck Sweeting was fastest in practice, and he's rolling off P3, so that might bode well for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's, anywhere up front, I think is a good solid start for you. Looks like we got some cars starting to grid up here, Matt. Should we run them through the grid, as many as we can, with 30 vehicles here tonight?
We'll try to talk fast, get us through as many as we can.
Actually, 31, pardon me. So, like we mentioned, David Cater going to be your pole sitter tonight, and outside of him, Craig White going to roll off P2.
In the P3 position with the 62 of Chuck Sweeting and the 4 of James Howard starting P4.
Rolling off P5, we have Jeffrey Marble, and outside of him, Ned Adams, I believe, the league admin main guy here.
Very true. Starting off in the 7th position with the 7 of Sherwood Wilford. And starting off the 8th position with the 31 of Dan Denaire.
And possibly one of my favorite names in the field, Matt. Pat McHorter going to roll off P9, and Robert M. Edwards, the guy you said to look out for, going to roll off P10.
Starting in that 82 car in the 11th spot, we have Gil Gawk. And in the 62 is outside, the reigning series champion, Brian Rainville.
Rolling off P13, we have pardon me, we have Harold Deckler and Jason Moon going to roll off P14. We know we saw Mr. Deckler be pretty stout in the trucks, Matt.
We did. It'll be one to watch this week or tonight for sure. And starting P15, we have the last time we broadcast the PRN series winner, Damie Long. And in the 37 car, starting off P16, we have Andy Tico.
Rolling off P17, we have Sam Carpusios, we're going to say, maybe. I don't know. P17 going to roll off, and Frank Soppa going to roll off P18.
We're bad with names, folks, so don't take it personally. In the 43 car, the last car to take a time, starting 19th, will be David Hensley. In the 53, we have Randall Ballard starting off P20.
And in the 21 machine, we have Tim Phillips, and to his outside, going to roll off P22, Wayne Grease, wow.
Falling apart. Starting P23, we have the 06 of Tom Drelling. And the 20 of Mark Robinson starts P24.
Rolling off P25, we have David Addison, and rolling off P26, Britt Lee.
Starting P27, the 59 of Ralph Blair. In the 28th position, with the 17 of Mark Mousseau.
And rolling off P29, we have Jeff Bratton, and P30. Wow, that's a number I don't get to use much, Matt. We have Craig Hawkins, and shotgun on the field, Rob Denhoff, going to roll off P31. That is a long way to go.
We did it.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
Pleasantly surprised, even.
And I only coughed twice, so we're good to go. I don't know what it is, but apparently there's summertime allergies now. That's a new thing to me.
That's not something I think I'd enjoy, Thomas.
Well, luckily I have this race to enjoy tonight, Matt.
And a good one for that, as the pace car rounds turns 3 and 4, getting ready to take the hard left turn down the pit lane.
Be in the hands of David Cater here. Going to see if he can get a good jump on the field here with a longtime buddy Chuck Sweeting right behind him. Even start for the field there, Matt.
It was very even. The 11 car back here of Robert M. Edwards is running pretty well up there in the high line. He's looking to clear the 7. The top line might not quite be worked in yet there, seeing as we have no laps in the race conditions, but I think you'll see that.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing we always go from that. The B car is such a momentum car as well. So, clearly in a lower line, you can go around the faster you're going to go. To get them wound up, I guess.
Yeah.
Got the 3 looking to cut back underneath the 4. He lost a little time through 1 and 2 having to start on the outside, but looking to march his way back to the front here.
You see the 4 there. He's working a real high lane. He doesn't seem to be losing too much. He's got a nice run off the corner. He might go back. No, he's just going to tuck in behind the 3 there of Craig White.
There's a reason he's won a few races there, Matt. I think he knows how to get to the end of these jokers.
A little bit of racecraft involved, I would say.
Just a touch. 134 laps. I'm not sure if we touched on that tonight. A lot of laps to get to the front if you have a good piece underneath you.
That's for sure there. And looking back, there's a few movers. Tim Phillips, who I mentioned before, he's sitting pretty in the points, P3 right now in the standings. He's running 18th, made up from 21st. So maybe not qualifying might be their strategy and see if they can work their way up.
Well, we thought it might have been the nail in the coffin, I believe, in the truck series for Chuck and a few other guys, but they slowly worked their way to the front. So I think, like we said, this league's good enough to have long green flag runs. So you can definitely get your way to the front.
Without a doubt, Thomas.
Curious to see if we have that same cliff edge that the trucks have. After about 20, 25 laps, the cars kind of seem to fade away.
Well, if we do, we might see a lot of solo spins and wrecks because I know after the 25 laps, the trucks got to be evil on the back end. They just whipped around. And in these slick conditions, you do not want to be sawing on that wheel coming out of the corners.
I was gonna say, I don't think the daytime is gonna help you any. Just looking through, not a whole lot of battles. Got a few guys kind of thinking about it here, but everyone, I guess, trying to get settled in here, Matt, and get some laps under their belt.
Like you said, Thomas, 134 laps long race, so no need to push her too hard here and scuff your car up because you don't want to get damage at Charlotte. That's for sure. Like any other mile and a half tracks, you get damage here, you might be done for the day.
Yeah, I heard that from a lot of people this week. I guess because of the speed we carry at Charlotte, just a lot of just a little bit of damage will carry a long way for your race. I'm hearing less than like 10 seconds can pretty much be the end of your day.
And that's not something you want to play around with, especially on lap 7, I guess, now of 134.
Yeah, we got a little tangle back here. Where's the 84? We saw him get around the 71, maybe.
71's your winner from the Truck Series last time we were here at Charlotte, so let's see if he can rebound and get back up to the front here. And we know he's quick and he has good racecraft. And also, he lost the rookie number. He's in the 71, not the
Oh, yeah.
300 one. So congrats to
No
you there,
rookies
Damie.
joining us tonight. I don't believe everyone's an improved member.
I think Damie turned some heads there last week when he took that truck win away.
Yeah, what was really good about him is he was good on the long run. So he didn't panic when people passed him on short little restarts, which we didn't have many to deal with. But once you get past on the short run, there he just let the car come to him and he built it up from there.
Yeah, I kind of said, "See you later. I'll be back."
Speaking of being back, looks like we got Ned Adams driving up to the rear bumper of that four machine here, and the four is kind of really just riding behind the three still.
They're turning off some nice lap times there. David Cater last lap hit a 2:21, and I believe Ned Adams was a 2:92 last lap. So they're all pretty well equal. It's just to the fact of getting up there and passing because I know Ned's second and a half right now behind a race leader David Cater.
Well, we saw Ned Adams. That was the name we saw in the truck series. He had speed, kind of got himself in a little trouble there at the end of that truck race with a very loose truck, but looking to turn it around here in the B series.
Look at the chat here. We have Major Afa, who is Jamesy Fa. He couldn't do the race tonight, and he said good luck. So he's watching up here, and we'll get a good show, I think, without a doubt.
Yeah, I hate you couldn't join us. I'm sure they wanted you out here. They know they put a lot of pressure to get all their guys in this week to make sure they got a good run in for the stream. And tell you what, they didn't disappoint last time, so I'm sure it'll be one heck of a show.
For sure. And Ned Adams looking around the outside, going the long way here around the Ford James Howard.
Just gonna bring it up. Seeing a lot of guys in the back half of the field starting to use that high line. We talked about it. It's hot. It's slick. Maybe already starting to come in.
He's running the middle there, and he's gaining pretty well on the 3 of Craig White. So we'll see. Ooh, we lost a little bit there off the
A
corner,
little
but
bit
he's
there, yeah.
rolling pretty good. So maybe it's starting to come in already.
I think one thing that helps in this series, Matt, is there's so many cars. 31 cars allows you to get this track rubbered in, heated up, or however you want to talk about the iRacing version, but it gets it worn in so these guys can start to move around a lot earlier.
That's true, but keeps the heat to the track too, especially with these high temperatures.
Four behind him that time though, he drives right back around him.
Oh, he looks Chuck Sweeting's got right up to the back bumper here at David Cater. Maybe challenging him for the race lead.
Yeah, kind of just
Shortly.
stuck in lockstep here. It seems like they're almost like a plate race. They're kind of just following each other around. A little blinking out of that 62 machine, but no one said anything yet on the driver's chat. Ping's pretty okay. It's still in the 133 range. Not terrible, but definitely might make you nervous if you're David Cater and he goes to make a pass on you.
Yeah, that's netcode heaven right there, Thomas.
Oh boy, talk about we've seen some mega netcode at Charlotte this week, almost 6 foot at one time.
Yeah.
Speaking of passes, Chuck looked to make the move there, couldn't get it done. One thing you're gonna have to be leery of here too, Matt, is that when you go to make that pass, you got this 3 car right behind you guys. So when you better make it clean and quick, or you're gonna be eaten alive by the guy behind you.
Yeah, Craig is on a rail there. He ran 2.5 tenths, I believe, quicker than Cater and Chuck last time around. Chuck's going to take the lead here into turn 3.
Yeah, maybe three's gonna follow him through. Looks like it. Maybe starting to see the handle go away on some of these machines already.
Well, we saw Cater was putting in a blistering pace at the start of the race, so maybe he wore his tires out just a little bit as he's making a move back by the 3 on the outside, and he makes it. Looked like Craig got a little bit tight there coming onto turn 2, so he kind of had to get out of the gas and lose some of that momentum you were talking about.
Yeah, you could tell definitely because it allowed the 4 to get by him, and now the 4 is going to try to make the move on Cater. Like you said, Matt, that 4 James, he's no sucker here. He knows how to get the job done.
And I was looking, it wasn't just a mile and a half, wasn't just short tracks. He's won a mile and a half and short track so far this season, so that's he's a pretty well-rounded driver, I think here.
Another guy who just made the pass on that AMS there, Dan Denier, he's already up to P6, started P8 in that 31 machine, looking to fly his way up to front here. See what I did there?
James Howard ran another blistering lap there, 7.75 to Chuck's 30.0, so 0.3 of a second faster. Maybe the tires on Chuck's 62 machine went away?
That's probably a best guess, I would assume.
Because we know Chuck's a hell of a race car driver, and it's very good to see him run, especially in this series where he usually doesn't get into somebody else's
Without a
mess and
doubt, we
barrel
got the
roll.
11 going around out of turn 4. We are just going to talk about that. Had a gaggle of cars there. Oh, unfortunately, spins down to pit lane, so probably not going to be a yellow there. Tough break for the 11.
Oh, he's got a lot of damage on the back end there.
41's also off the pace of Jason Moon.
The 41 got into the back of the 11 when the 11 started going around, so that might be very detrimental for them. And Robert Edwards is our current point leader here in this series, so that's gonna be a big hit in the points.
Not how you want to start your Charlotte night. That was just a gaggle of cars back there. I had just seen the 82 of Gil Galt get out of that mess, and luckily he did, because that was something that was just, like you say, Matt, it's a great group of guys, but once you get that many cars together for that many laps, it can kind of turn into a mess.
It's easy to get wrapped up in somebody else's business, and it's no fault of the other person in front of you. It's slick out here, and sometimes you start losing it, and sometimes you can't save it.
Now, while that happened, I do believe the 4 has gotten around Chuck Sweeting, so put the 4 to the point.
His lap times are falling back just a touch there. He's trying to work the high line a little bit as the 11, I believe, is coming out of pit lane. Got service down there after his wild ride.
I'm sure that may have been all sorts of problems for him, though, man. I'm sure he spun in speeding, excessive speeding, wrong entry, all kind of stuff, probably.
Yeah, it's not something you want.
Is this 4? It looks like he's stretching a little bit now, Matt. James kind of stretched it on Chuck a little bit that lap.
Stretched to about 2.5 tenths that time. He's moving.
That's great to see him using that. That's awesome. That's what you want to see in the service, using that high line. As the 62 lagged out big time there through 1 and 2.
I'm looking back here. The 11 doesn't seem to be too off the pace. I thought he'd be. Well, maybe it's new tires.
I think he took new tires, so it's going to make your car look better than it really is. He did lose 2 laps through that exchange, but he's going to get 1 back here, though.
Yeah, he'll definitely get 1 back because he's going to be driving by them, but we'll see what happens.
It's a tough break, but, it's a long season. Like I said, he's been consistent, and he's your point leader for a reason, so.
Looking in the chat here, anybody that wants to converse, you can. We will answer questions, talk to you. Not like many other broadcast teams, but we thrive off of the entertainment of the chat.
Got Ned Adams here continuing, looks like to fall back a little bit. Going to fall back to the hands of the 60 car here. Mr. Rainville, and also, who's that behind him? Mr. Marble back there in the 51 car, looking to find a way by. I was going to make a male reference there, but I couldn't have any top of my head there.
Just to say that, Thomas, that's a very nice looking Mustang right there, the USPS mail car.
Maybe he's looking for a zip code to get by.
Ooh, get a little bit of a battle shaping up here at the 7 and the 84. As 84 gets by, but Gil Gawk is right behind them.
This is that gaggle before that had to involve the 11 car. It's gotten back together now after all that shenanigans.
Damie Long's made his way back from 15th up to 13th right now, and they're rolling the
Ooh,
bottom pretty well back here.
60 car just about bought the farm off turn 2. Saved it, though. It's going to allow the 51 and the 66 to close back in. Probably a few more guys behind them.
I think Ned's going to want to make some adjustments on that 66 car when he comes into pit lane the first time.
I think everyone's looking for adjustments, but maybe that 4 car, because he's
Yeah.
starting to stretch it just a little bit now.
Ooh, the 51's way high up there. He seems to get a little bit loose. Might have a 3 wide scenario here.
Gotta pick your battles closely here.
Ned's stuck behind him. He's just going to wait. He's not going to push it too hard here. Yeah, good call by him. I think it's real early in the race.
Yeah, you got to be careful too of that arrow wash when you get right behind somebody. You can find yourself find the outside wall in a hurry. I know when I
Ooh,
was
51's in the wall, and Ned Adams makes it by. I think he got Velcroed into it. He's dropped a lot of spots
yeah,
here. The
it's at
5
least
makes his way by
what
now.
5 or 6 spots at least.
Don't think he should have too much damage, though, because he just kissed it.
Did have David Cater drive back around the 3 car of Craig White there. So 42, almost said 43 because of that STP paint on there.
Yeah.
42 coming back to life is Chuck Sweeting sideways and slow off a turn 2.
It
May
looks
have
like
made
he's got
contact with the
damage.
wall.
Oh, no.
Can't tell because he was lag his damage. I can't tell if it's lag damage or if he just stopped and not hit the
Oh,
wall.
he gave the wall a crack off a turn, too. I don't know if you guys can catch that because it's uh, blinking in and out a few times, but
Oh
he's got
wow,
some
yeah, he
killer
did.
damage.
Yeah, he gave that wall a new name, Chuck's wall.
It might not even be there anymore.
So that's gonna move David Cater back up to P2, Craig White P3, and that 3 machine. Chuck's still holding on to 4th, but I'm pretty sure Dan and then 31's gonna have something to say about that.
Well, Dandy Dan there is rolling off some pretty decent lap time, so we'll see if he can catch up.
You remember we had him in the interview last time with the PRN as well, and he felt really comfortable on long runs. So I'm not sure if it's going to transfer to the B car, but so far it looks like it has.
And defending series champion there, Brian Rangel in the 60, still looking a little slick off of turn 2 there. He washed up a bit, but
A little
he's putting
squirrely.
down some good laps as well.
Got a side by side battle back here for 14th. Looks like the 30 there, getting past Frank, getting passed by Andy on the outside. So it's nice to see, even if you're struggling a little bit and you kind of want to, well, I'm just going to protect the bottom. Well, that's not going to work here because they're going to drive around you on the
Yeah,
outside. Although not seeing a whole lot of bottom feeding going on right now, at least I'd say the majority of the field, at least in the middle groove, they wanted to.
and a little bit of a gaggle. Ooh, almost contact there between the 71 and 66.
Yeah, I just caught that was flying back through the field. That was almost a race ender there.
For more than just one guy, I think that would have been a hard hit for the 66. And
Good way to get your rookie number back, I guess.
yeah.
Go ahead and wreck the league admin. I'm sure that'll get some attention.
Oh, Wayne Grass is looking to make a move, maybe. He's slipped up a lot in turn 2. Ned Adams gets a nice run behind him. He's kind of, I think Ned's just biding his time here, waiting for the caution and a caution possibly, and get that.
Or the pit stop.
Yeah,
Let's see. I'm not sure. I wouldn't think these guys are gonna run the whole fuel stint in these cars. I might see some short pitting take place, and that's where things get a little interesting.
for sure. And the 51, Jeffrey Marble still falling back there as he's under fire from the 21 of Tim Phillips.
Speaking of falling back, we still got the 62 falling back through the field. And like I said, Matt, that was just a pounding of the wall.
Oh, we have the 42, David Cater coming down to get serviced on pit road.
Well, I guess
Relinquishing
there's
the
your short
third
pitting.
position. We have a few more going to take advantage of that.
It's about 30 laps, and that's about what you would kind of old school strategy, Matt, of short pitting. I know you were kind of off the iRacing service that time with the build where we went and run about 25, 30 laps on a set of tires, but maybe it's still a thing here in the B car.
It could be for sure, and the way the times have fallen off, it leads me to believe it is that
Got the leader
is
on pit
exactly
lane,
that.
James Howard down pit lane here.
Well, when you saw the 42 there of David Cater come down, he was sitting P2, P3. You know, by then you have to make your move quick because you don't want to lose too much time.
Oh, without a doubt. What's it, 2, 3 seconds you're losing the lap here?
At least, yes.
And we've seen that some other races we broadcast. We've seen a lap difference be the winning margin just by pitting a lap sooner. You were able to gap that guy and hold him off.
Yes, for sure. And the three Craig White's coming down pit road, so that's going to relinquish the lead to the 31 of Dan Denayer.
The thing to keep track of here is pit stops. Make sure you don't speed. See if anybody. No one's going to get him with two tires, but just make sure you don't speed in on entry or exit, because exit would be exit would be the nail in the coffin for sure.
Yeah.
Because this race is looking fairly green so far. I know we've seen some loose cars, but these guys have been pretty good about maintaining control of them.
Looking in the chat here, Westherd Jr. says he's watching the stream from the movie theater, I believe, and
Now
he
that's
said,
not nice for your moviegoers.
and he said that the Baywatch movie is hilarious, which I might go watch that then.
They're no funnier than us, though.
I don't think they can be.
Isn't that one guy in there that what was his name? The Disney star guy?
I don't know. I think Dwayne the Rock Johnson's in it. I'm not
Yeah, not
100%
him.
sure.
Pretty sure he's not the Disney. Whatever. Okay, well, it's a different story for a different thing. We've got more pit stops taking place here, boys.
Reeler back in the 84. Pat McCorder coming off pit road, along with the 01 makes contact with the 17. Trouble on the front stretch. Round to
Still
the
green.
grass. Oh, he's going to be right in front of the pit road, guys.
Wow, yeah, that was a big. What happened there? That's like they kind of came together to the D oval there. I'm not sure why, or quad
That
oval.
was
Sorry, I'm
a
not sure what
hit.
that was about.
That might have knocked some rear toe out of that 17 car because they came together a ton there.
I know going through the grass. I believe last time I heard someone announce they went through the grass in a race, it was almost 20 seconds of damage with the Legends
Oof.
infield. So definitely going to hurt your race. Not to mention the amount of time they just lost sliding through the infield.
Yeah, well, I saw that the 17 almost took flight there if he would have had some wings for going up because I saw the front end go up. But the 45, Harold Decker, our leader right now, coming down to get serviced on pit lane, relinquishing the lead to the 21, Tim Phillips, I believe.
At the moment, yes. So we got the 21, 37, 62, 53, I believe 51 yet to pit. And we just saw the 45 come down. But after all those guys cycle through, looks like the four's still going to be your leader.
And he's sitting P7 right now, and he's catching up pretty quick. He's 14 seconds back, but I think he's gaining about 2 seconds, like you said, Thomas, a lap. So
It's got to be hard to pass these guys. You're probably catching some guys at just an alarming rate. Which surprises me, Matt, because that's one thing we've seen, especially if you watch any officials. That's where you find the trouble. Guys with new tires, guys with old tires, just not paying attention. Catch a guy in the corner in the wrong spot, you can't check up, and around they go.
yeah, that's very true, Thomas. But here in the Premier Race Network, I don't think we'll see much of that. These guys are great race car drivers, and they know what they're doing out here. They know each other, so it's usually clean and green.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we don't have the drivers chat on because they can get a little crazy sometimes. But they've been announcing pitting when they're coming out, making sure people know what's going on. That's very smart move by a lot of the drivers here to make sure you don't have any incidents coming on or off of pit lane.
Very true. Just gonna jump back into the chat here. Wester Jr. said he was hoping for a people's elbow, but it didn't show up. Well, I hope there was a rock bottom in there at least.
The STP car passing the STP car there. The David Cater getting around Mr. Was that David? Yeah, in the 43. That was for position at the moment. 43 yet to pit, I'm assuming. Yep. That kind of lap times, I would hope so.
Yeah, either that or you're down a cylinder. Just noticed, unfortunately, I believe it's the 11 of Robert Edwards has taken his car behind the wall for the evening.
Oh, well, we saw him getting that incident earlier, and I guess he just decided that was enough.
That's gonna be a big hit in the points, but I think he can afford it. He's got a decent little margin there over Ned Adams in the 66. So
Now, Matt, you never want to give up points.
No, never, but sometimes you got to.
Now we've got Chuck Sweeting yet to pit, but it's not going to matter because here comes your what will be your leader, James Howard, going to go around him for P2.
There you can see just the difference in speeds when he came by Chuck. Chuck's running 32-second lap times. Oh, he gets loose in the high line.
Chuck
Whew.
was almost
And
exactly 2 seconds a lap slower.
yeah,
So you just, I mean, I think with Chuck's damage, he's just kind of hoping there was a caution because there's not much he can do. So, and last week's truck winner, as we said, Damian coming out of the pit lane there. Currently running P26, a little nose damage on that machine. Not sure what he got involved in. Definitely, we saw him higher than that, Matt, above up to 13th last time we checked in. So definitely gone downhill for him.
yeah. It looks like he hit a. No, the front end looks like a bulldozer now. So hopefully they can get that beat out if we have a caution.
So it looks like everyone's pitted so far but the 53. We
62
still,
as well, I think. Correct.
well, yes, 62 was, yeah, I got behind on that because the Ford's already got around him. The only one left for the Ford to get around is the 53. And what do you know? Look who's right behind the 53.
And he's coming quick. He might make it done before the stripe here as he looks
Oh, they
low.
complete this lap. It's going to be the 4.
And just drove by him there. That's another example of how fresh tires and old tires come into play.
Not, not quite as bad, though. I guess the damage is what's really hurting Chuck because 53 only running about, well, no, it's still about 2 seconds, isn't it? Not quite 2 seconds. As he goes 3 wide, getting around some lap traffic here.
Oh boy.
Now, what you're going to see here is those guys who have yet to pit, yeah, they've pretty much shot themselves in the foot for the most part. But if it cycles through to where maybe you don't have to make one more pit stop and you can keep enough pace in these tires, you could be sitting pretty, but you're going to have to find a lot of pace on new tires to blow back by this field.
You're right, Thomas. That this thing does go green, which is a potential with these drivers. I think they could be planning something a
I
little bit
just
further in the future.
don't see how. I mean, you're going to have to get to overlap 60 to make this work, closer to 70, really. So that's asking a pretty big bit, good bit out of your gas tank there. We're only on lap 48, and we've already seen the most of the field pit. So if you're going to make that work, you're going to be in for a long night.
Without a doubt on that one. I'm just going back here looking at the 53. He's running all right. Still real slow lap times, but I don't know. I think you've made your bed. Now you got to lie in it, Thomas. When you
Oh, you can't pit now, yeah, for sure. He's
no,
still got 3 seconds over David Cater, which I think that shows you just how good that Ford James got on and off the pit lane. Because he did not have that big of a lead over David before he pitted.
no, he has a huge lead there now. And then that for James, you can kind of slow your pace down a little bit there. Save some tires if you have to, and see if you can stretch this run a little bit longer. But you don't want to stretch too long because once you see some of these guys come to pit road, you want to come down immediately.
Yeah, I think if you're James, which I believe we have David getting around the 53 there. Yes, we do. So, no, sorry, that was the other STP car. Man, I'm telling you, these STP cars are just giving me a fit. No, that was David
Oh,
Cater.
All right, man.
we have one in the
Oh,
grass
yellow.
there. The '06 was spinning to the grass. Don't know if he made contact with anybody else.
Well,
Don't
that
think the
changes
caution came out for
everything.
him. The '06 was in the infield there. I don't think the caution would come out for him unless it was when he merged back onto the track. Now that's going to help, like the 53 of Randall Ballard and 62 of Chuck Sweeting. I know he's going to get damaged or fixed, but it's really going to help the 53 because everybody's going to be coming down pit lane this time, I would hope.
Yeah, they've been out there long enough where you're all going to pit again.
Working lap 51 here of 134. That's a good chunk there in that first run.
I mean, he only fell back to third, so that's weird. It would throw a yellow for that car, though. He was way off
Yeah,
the surface.
I just caught out of the corner of my eye there when I was watching the battle between Gil Gawk and another guy, and I saw him. He just he got it straight, and he was in the infield. Like we had a wreck there. I couldn't see the caution, but he must have.
One of those weird Charlotte yellows that you get for that, but not someone spinning on the backstretch like we've seen in previous races we streamed.
Yeah. This is going to be comfortable for James Howard to get on because David Cater stuck behind a couple lap cars, so this should be James in and out as your leader.
Oh yeah, he had plenty of time. He could go eat a lunch while he gets his pit done there, or eat some ice cream maybe.
It's a hot day. You might want to grab a cone for the car.
I'm sure
That's
you could
a
order one up with that Verizon service.
that was a real good call there by the 53. It worked out because now he's going to recycle to third or fourth. He'll be in the top five. So and
Yeah, I mean
started P20s.
he looks like a genius now.
He was out there on that limb, but it worked for him.
I wish it would work for me like that.
No kidding.
Normally we end up staying green and it doesn't matter.
We had a slow pit stop there. I think he's going to recycle P5. Brian Rainville is going to be in the top five this time, I think.
It looks like he lost a couple positions there. Or maybe one. Looks like we get the 7 who decided not to pit this time. Not sure when his last pit stop was, but he might be banking on. You have to pit awful late for that to work, so I don't think that would
Yeah.
work. Maybe he just wants to lead the lap.
Looking at it here, he has pitted on lap 36, 35, 36, and looks like he's going to bring it down this time here. Well, it's going to recycle James Howard in the 4, back to the lead. David Cater second. Craig White in the 3rd position in that 3 car. 31 holds 4th, and the 60 defending series champion, Brian Rainville in the 5th position.
You're gonna have to let behind the 7 cycle through now because it's gonna mess up your running order.
Yeah.
Ned Adams, we saw him earlier, Matt, kind of pull up to the front, but he's gonna cycle in P8 here. Lost a little speed on that long run, it looks like.
I'd like to see how many cranks of wedge he put into that car. I think he might have been. This car was a little bit ill handling.
So we still have the 62 of Chuck Sweeting on pit lane. I don't know if he can get all that fixed in one caution.
Yeah, that's a ton of damage. He hit that wall with a pretty good crack, but we'll see. There seemed to be getting a little bit beat out a little bit there on the
I
right
think
side of his car.
one of his big issues would be that connection in traffic. That might get him in bigger trouble than anything else. He's still having a hard time keeping connected.
Yeah, that's very true, Thomas.
I know you know
That's
nothing about bad connections, Matt.
no, never. And I assume here about 11:30 my time, I'll be gone. So it'll just be Thomas commentating when my connection goes out and I can't see the track. Again, waving a true bell can.
Yay! Looks like we did have the 62 stay in to get the damage fixed. Or maybe he said, you know what? I don't want to drive out there anymore with this damaged car. Well, he came back out finally. So, yeah, he just lost a lap to get that damage fixed. He had to do something because he was over a second slower than the guys on older tires. So, that definitely wasn't working out for him.
Yeah, this is going to be even. It's going to be hard to do this here. As I think we have everybody back double file, the lights off on the pace car.
Yep, going to be in the hands of James this time, not David. We saw David had quite the short run speed, and see if he can do anything with James this time. See if he can get back out front and lead a few more laps here.
There goes the pace car, and James is waiting on that green flag to fly. And there it is. They're gone.
That's the trademark of this league. I don't believe they jump to her. They always wait on the green.
And then you see it kind of keeps it a little bit
Or
more,
even.
yeah, and more sensible too, because you can see some people trying to jump it when trying to gauge when the other guy's going to go and stuff like that. But
Still side by side. Boy, that is a gaggle. Everyone, not like the first start there, everyone together still is. Whew, that was close between the 4 and the 62. I mean, the 42.
yeah, I was gonna say that looked like you couldn't put a piece of paper between those two,
Looks
as
like
David
it.
loses a little bit of momentum in the high line there
Say
after
that may have
that.
checked him up a little bit. Gonna have 3 drive underneath him. Maybe the 60 taking a look here.
31's gonna try to come by along with the 66, Ned Adams.
Don't want to be up in that high line this early. Like I said, couple laps. Actually, it didn't take but about 5, 6 laps before it really got going. But restarts, you got to be a bottom feeder.
Ooh, that 7 car, a little bit of a moment there as I think the 84 got a little bit loose in front of him, and then he kind of. No, sorry, he just pushed up the track there, 3 and 4. He almost got to the back end of the 84. Ooh, David Cater losing a ton of spots here. He's being slated right now. P6, losing another spot to Ned Adams. And the 5 of Wayne Grass is not too far behind. Maybe looking to, maybe sees the blood in the water, as it were.
Yeah, he just could never get back down to the bottom, and just the car didn't seem like it liked it up there in the middle of the high groove. So see what he can do when he gets back under him. He was back to a P2 car for that caution, so we'll see what he has in it. Meanwhile, the 3 is trying to give this 4 all kind of fits here for the lead, but it's not working yet.
Well, last time we saw, Thomas James just kind of drove away on the long run, but maybe Craig has something for him. He never really had a shot last time. He was pretty far back, so.
Yeah, well, we didn't see the 4 really come in until about 15, 17 laps on the tires. So let's see if he's just managing his tires again.
Well, the 60, Brian Rainville is up there P3, and he's running some nice lap times, and he looks like he's about even with the 4 and the 3, so maybe he's looking for his time to shine out of the point as he closes right up in the back bumper of Craig White.
You know what they say, Matt, when you get a restart, this is when you got to get all you can get here. So
It's hard to make moves on older tires, especially with these B cars.
we still got a little 4 car, really 5 car if you count Ned in there, just all still nuts to butts here.
31, Dan and Air coming up there, flying on that Cessna machine. They're getting closed up. This kind of reminds me of like Daytona or something in the backstretch, Thomas. They're closing up greatly on each other in the back. And Brian ran an interesting line through there. See if it works for him.
Stuck it in. The 3 car got to stick it underneath James here.
And that's going to let everybody catch right up.
You say that, but then they all went to the high side through 1 and 2, so I don't really know how that's going to play out.
Ooh, high side's rolling there. 60's on the outside of the 3 now. 3's going to probably get back to the inside of the 4 in a turn 3 and 4 here.
Still giving plenty of room, too, so no real pinching happening yet. A little early in the run for that.
Yeah, working lap 62 now of 134. Lots of laps, like you said, Thomas. So just take your cool now. See what you can do. Got a new leader that time around. 3, Craig White makes the pass, and the 4, James Howard.
Might clear him this time. Looks like he will. But like we said, we saw the 4 do this. You know, last time he had to march his way to the front. This time maybe he's like, you know what? You get out there and lead some laps. Let me follow you.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Save your tires up just a little bit, and don't tear the car up is the main thing, especially with this long race ahead of us.
Well, I think the prime example we saw the 62 having a solid run and then just got away from him and pounded the outside wall. That's, one little mistake like that and your night's over.
Yeah, effectively right now, Chuck's being scored in the 22nd position, 1 lap down, and he still has quite a bit of damage to the right side of his machine. Ooh, the 60, Brian Rainville kind of fell off a little bit there. Ned Adams is all over his back end.
Down low through 1 and 2, see if you can make that bottom line come in for him. Something interesting we noticed, Charlotte, especially the Cup car, I'm sure it carries to the B car as well. When you get down in 1 and 2 and you get on that white line, it just has an immense amount of grip. So I'm sure when you need to make that bonsai pass, that's something you need to make sure you look into.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed too, Thomas, when I did drive the Cup car here, I know it's a little bit different. We have about 100 or so less horsepower in this Xfinity car, but the bottom line's hard to make moves on. I found it was easier to go around the outside.
I can imagine that's only worse in this car with the lack of speed and the momentum buildup. That when you pinch someone down, they have to come out of the gas. It's going to kill you down the straightaways.
And the 60's loose.
Sideways. Good save there, though.
He's going to lose a few spots, and we're going to see how long it takes him to build up the momentum again to get back competitive, because it's going to take, I'd say, 2 laps, wouldn't you say, Thomas?
At least a lap and a half, and that's if these guys don't eat you up and keep you on your toes, try to keep you sideways. They kind of pounce on you when you make a mistake. He said that it was a 60, the past champion in this series, you said?
Yes, he was.
Oh,
he gets contact with the 43.
So
42, sorry.
Big push out of that car there and really nowhere for Cater to go.
Just kind of closed up his lane. And yes, Thomas, the 60 of Brian Rainville is your defending series champion for the.
Save like that, not surprising.
Yeah,
Still, definitely handle going away on that car. Definitely through 3 and 4. That's 2 times in a row he's struggled to get through 3 and 4.
let's see if we can do it this time. The 53, the smart guy of the race right now, sitting P8.
Our own lucky dog of the race.
Yeah, we'll
A
catch
little
lap
lap
traffic here.
traffic there. Yeah, just caught that myself. That's fairly clean so far. He's got the 31 diving underneath the 66, trying to make that move. Not going to work that time, though.
I don't think he put the flaps low enough on the wings there, Thomas.
Didn't have enough DRS enabled.
The 5 of Wayne Grass looking to take that position away from Dandy Dandonair. Ooh, that's a tough one to say.
Yeah, the 5's just kind of been lurking with, who's behind the 66 that first run, just biding his time, trying to get to the front here.
Brian Rainville seemed to have equaled out a bit. Ooh, just as I say that, he took a wicked push there in the center of 3 and 4. Or 1 and 2, sorry.
Yeah, he did let the 42 by him, so he's still continuing to struggle. And the 53 looks like he's reeling him in just a little bit.
31 makes the move there on the 66 and Ned Adams, put him up to P3.
Oh, not
Ooh,
yet.
Dan's fighting, or sorry, Ned's fighting back on the outside.
That outside line's working pretty good.
I think he gets so wound up to the corner, and then you can carry so much better exit speed than the bottom line can.
Still didn't work a little too high that time, I believe they wanted to, as they both cleared him that time, and David Cater sets his sight on Ned Adams.
He'll be under fire from him, and I don't think it's going to be much of a contest because I think the 66 still lost a little bit of momentum there.
Numbers are hard, just like words. Speaking of what's hotting up here, Matt, looks like James has tracked back down that 3 of Craig here. About 2/10 quicker the lap before this, before he got right on his bumper.
Yeah, it's about 15 laps there since we went back green, so you're right on that, Thomas. The switch turns on that 4 car after a few laps.
Yeah, he just seems to be able to manage his car better than most people. He's going to catch a lap car at the wrong spot here. Thought he was going to try and make a run on the 3, but had nowhere to go.
We might be able to do it down into turn 1, though. He gained right up on him. See if he can roll that high line like we've seen other drivers do so far tonight.
I think he can roll any line he wants, pretty much.
Yeah. Ooh, that 39 is way off the pace on the backstretch there.
Ooh, 42 got sideways in front of the 5. Good save there by David Cater, and good checkup, too, as well from Wayne.
Yeah, that could have been bad there.
Seems like when these cars get loose, there's no choice, but you have to lift, clearly, but because of the momentum loss, you just get ate alive by the guys behind you.
Yeah, as soon as you get off the gas when you're not supposed to, I think these things just kind of pull out a virtual parachute and you just come back to whoever's behind you.
We've seen that as well, too, Matt, when you get that sideways and just sometimes getting out of the gas can make it worse and just shift that way even more and make it spin even sooner. So we got the 4 working over the 3, going to try and get the run this time out of turn 2. Looks like he's got it this time.
You should be able to clear him, I think, at least on the exit of 3 and 4. When he gets him cleared in the center, the 3's going to fight back, I would imagine. Nope.
Boy, he sailed it through 3 and 4 and it's stuck. New leader, James, again. That 4 car showing you got some work to do to catch him, boys.
I think he's looking to go 50% in the season so far. This is the 10th race of the Xfinity calendar, and he's won 4 already.
Better watch out. They might put a weight penalty on that car.
Here's the crazy thing, Thomas. And he's not even the point leader because of how the incident point and if you bring out a caution works in this league. He's sitting P4 in the points with 4 wins, and Robert Edwards, who has 2 wins, is your point leader. I think he's going to lose that tonight.
Wow, that 4 must have hit a lot of things then to lose that many points with that many wins.
I'll get the stat up here. Just 1 second. I had the James Howard. James Howard has lost 62 penalty points.
Looks like we got Ned Adams falling back into the clutches of the 7 car, who we thought was struggling a little bit, but looks like I'm sorry, not 7, the 60 car. Looks like he was struggling a little bit, but he's came back to life here. Gonna get back around the 66. Looking to
Oh,
bring the
trouble in the front.
25. No. Well, they
All right,
almost
main
made it.
caution is out.
Oh,
Caution
hard
is
hit
out.
again for the
Oh,
60.
big hit there with the 7. 7 and the 30.
Yeah,
Oh,
hard hit.
the 41 got involved, and the 7 just tail whipped that 60, and that's gonna definitely take the 60,
Just
the 7, and
just a
yeah.
big push out of that 60 and could not keep it off of Ned Adams.
Oh, the 7 hurt in the inside wall right after too. I was gonna say, coming through that corner, Thomas, it looked like he was starting to slide up a little bit,
Looks like the
and clearly he slid
7
up
got
too much.
ran over by the 30 trying to miss that wreck. Yeah, wow.
It's like the 30 did not see, or he was not told what was happening there because he didn't check up at all by the looks of this until it was too late.
So you've got a couple cars whose days are pretty much done after that hit. I know the 66 probably going to keep going, but he's got a lot of right and left side damage now.
Yeah, you saw he just got kind of sandwiched into the wall, so that's going to be pretty bad just for that. He'll probably have some toe damage, but he never got hit by anybody else, which is beneficial for him.
Unfortunately, that's one of those situations, Matt. Like I just kind of said, it's the opposite of getting loose. He got tight, but the minute you jump out of the gas when you get tight, it's not like, I guess, a lot of people who don't race or sim race think just because you jump out of the gas, the car isn't just going to slow down and start turning for you. It might just flat out stop turning at all when you get out of the gas. It might set down and just, like we saw there, push right on into Ned, even worse.
Yeah, and that was a big wreck for a lot of guys, and that's only our second caution working lap 77, and I think that was going to be the big one here at Charlotte.
Yeah, that was a hard hit for a lot of guys too. When it happens up front in the middle of the pack, there's really nowhere to go to miss it as well. Especially with this grass at Charlotte, you can't just dive it through the grass to miss people.
Yeah, because you'll walk away with quite a bit of damage from going just through the grass.
Looks like we had I believe all the leaders came down pit lane that time.
James looks like he's going to keep the lead there unless anybody stayed out, which I do not believe they did.
I don't believe anybody was that brave. We only have 14 cars on the lead lap, Matt. So that first little long run there kind of thinned the field out a little bit.
It did for sure, Thomas. And looking here, Ned Adams, want to see how long he spends on pit lane because you know he's going to want to try to get those fenders pulled out.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see that car have multiple minutes of damage. Or if you're like me, you might be, oh, well, it's 20 seconds.
Yeah. He's coming out of pit lane. The 60 still getting service, which I believe he'll be there for.
It doesn't. 66 doesn't look that bad. Looks like he maybe hit a telephone pole with the right front, but other than that, it looks pretty good.
I think his biggest problem there is when he was getting the 60 off his front end. He kind of like hooked him, and I think that was quite a bit of front end damage for him, which is going to be terrible for the draft.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, that's something that's going to haunt you for the rest of the race now.
Well, Ned's going to cycle back out in the 13th position right now, unless he comes back down for further servicing.
Yeah, under this little break, we've popped back up to 17 cars on the lead lap. Still got a lot of cars circulating. Just 17 on the lead lap at the current moment.
Guy we haven't talked about much this race, the 84 Pat McCorder. Started P9, running P6. He's kind of been the quiet guy of the race, just kind of lurking back there. And has a decent car. See if he can make some moves, get himself up in the top 5. He's only a spot away.
Yeah, he had been back in that battle that we saw in the top 10 at the first start of the race, and he's just kind of been hovering around there, waiting to make his move, maybe to see what the car brings to him. Might have had to make a few adjustments throughout the event to get the car a little better. I believe our lucky dog was Gil that time, so our favorite old geezer here from the Geezer's Garage, Mr. Gilgalt, gonna see if he can bring the car home in a top 10. Looks like a little nose damage on that car, so that's probably gonna hurt his forward pace tonight.
That's for sure, Thomas. And he's cycling back P12, respectable spot. He's been running pretty good there. And
Yeah, we know Gil when he has a good piece under him, and I know he jokes around that he hates the trucks and he's not a huge fan of the B car, but he seems to do good in these lower series races. I'd like to see him do a few more. It might build up some solid runs for him. I know he's struggling on and off in the Cup car here and there, so good to see him get some good solid runs in the B in the truck series.
Yeah, that's what he needs, I think, is get some good runs under him. We know he can win races. We've seen it before in other leagues, so there's nothing stopping him from here. He might be able to pull out something.
I'm pretty sure he's won more races. He's forgotten about the races he's won, Matt, and we've won races as old as he is.
That could be true, Thomas.
I kid because I care. I, I'm not gonna pick on Gil. He's one of the good guys. All right, looks like pace car's gonna head down pit lane this time. Looks like James gonna lead him back to green once again.
Green flag, green
Nice
flag.
slow down here to the flag, and then they go.
Yeah, good. Once again, good even pacing between the front two guys. Five car a little bit off the 31 that time.
See if the 4 here can maintain his lead because we have Craig White passing the 31 of Dan Denair, and David Cater going to follow, put him up
Let's
to
say that
P2, 3.
we saw that three car last time have a really good short run pace here. So Sue, I'm sure he's gonna try and get back around the four just in case we get another quick yellow or something, so he can stay ahead of him.
Well, that's gonna must make the 4 nervous. You're looking at the end of the run. The 4 has been the best car in the long run, but the 3 has been the best car in the short run. If we get a late race caution, that could change everything for the 4 and could catapult that 3 to the victory lane.
You
Oh,
just
the
have
4
to
just kind of
get up on your
stepped out there.
stirrups there and giddy up to at the finish if you need a little short run car.
It looks like the 3's gonna make it happen here. He got real close to him. Might have taken some of the air off his spoiler.
Taking the air off the
And
spoiler. I think that 31's trying to do that.
yeah, David Cater looking
Yeah,
to follow the
Cater.
3.
It's great
Beautiful little
battles here.
race here.
Gonna bring the five car into the mix as well. Just a great gaggle of cars. That four really checks up that 31 getting into turn one. So a little three wide Dussel back there in the middle of the pack. Looks like they sorted that out pretty quick when they got to turn three. That could have been a nightmare.
Yeah, we had the 41 got buried in the wall there. It looked like he got Velcro to it and couldn't get off. So he was running 10th, and that's going to hurt him big time. I think he's going to be running 14th now across the stripe. He has some considerable right side damage.
That wall is not making any friends tonight. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
Oh, big gaggle of cars here. Gil Gawk leading them down.
Oh, well, that's happening. We got David Cater looking underneath the three, trying to take the lead away. Put Cater back to the point if he can clear him. Just going to hang on his right rear quarter panel there. He's still going to hang on. Looks like Cater's going to clear him into one there. We got Dan trying to follow him through. And like we saw all night, Matt, that four car is still struggling on the short run pace here.
He struggled more this run than he did last, so we'll see how long it takes him to get back into gear. 15 laps is what we saw last time, what you said, so see if it's just 15 again.
Three cars still finally going to let David get by him there.
This is a good, hard, clean race, and this is all you could ask for from these guys, and this is why this league is obviously so much fun to race. I mean, we're a Saturday night, and we have 31 guys out here taking turns.
A lot of respect shown from these guys. I've seen a lot of side-by-side action, but not a whole lot of pinching. I'm sure that might get a little tighter as we get closer to the end, but right now they're getting a lot of room just letting guys race it around.
We have Wayne Grass making by the 4 of Tim Phillips that time, or sorry, the 4 of James Howard that time around. Put him
Well, that's
up
why the
to
car's different. It's a different driver in there.
yeah, a little bit confused here, guys.
It's yeah, the four's still falling back. I'm not sure. He may have made a wrong adjustment on that thing this run.
Yeah, the last run we didn't see him go that far back, so I don't know. Maybe he did, Thomas, and maybe he's hoping for a caution here because he wants to get in and get that thing fixed. Or we could have saw. We know sometimes you get some bad tires here,
Oh man, don't even.
so hopefully that didn't happen to the 4 machine.
People think we're crazy, but I am a firm believer that sometimes you do not get the match set you're looking for.
Happened to me a few times, and I know kind of turns heads when you say that. I had a bad set of tires. They're like, no, we did.
Either that or my iRacing netcode or whatever back to the server is not reading correctly. Looks like we've got the 53 trying to get around the 52 here. Still a solid night for that 53 after that gutsy call earlier on that. He's made the most of it, still staying in the top 10.
I'll tell you, when he walks, you can hear tinging.
Like the front four have decided that they're going to settle it in here and maybe ride about a little bit.
Cater never stretches his lead out too much there. He's still comfortable, cool, about 0.3 of a second. So.
Not seeing a whole lot of battles though. The field is kind of sorting my way through here. Not seeing a whole lot of action. I guess everyone's trying to get what they can and then settle in. Like we said, after these restarts, the old tires make it a little difficult to get around people.
Well, this is the home stretch here. We're going to have probably one more pit stop, and then it'll be to the end. So.
When do we go back green?
Scrolling here to find out. Lap 82 is our first green flag lap. Working lap 92, about 9 laps, 10 laps now into the run.
You could technically do that on fuel.
That's going to be something interesting to see. There hasn't been many cautions. There's a lot of cars that are taken out from that last incident. So, do you want to be a gambler, man? Do you want to throw the dice and see where it lines up for you?
I think your question is, do you want to? Are you confident in your car enough to short pit it halfway through and make that time up? I think, we've seen the second half fall off. I don't think that's enough to make it up. We've seen tracks where you need around 2.5 to 3 seconds for that strategy to work. I think you might be stuck with what you've got right now if we stay green.
That's true. It'd be interesting to see. And I know falling apart. The Ford James Howard really wants to see another pit stop. He wants to get whatever happened to that machine, maybe with the tires, maybe an adjustment
I know
fixed. So
Tim Phillips is like, I'm running in 13th, but I apparently am running in the top 5.
I have brain lapses every once in a while, folks.
Oh, welcome to my world. As we've got the 3, looks like he's slowly catching Cater here. Definitely catching him at a 4. Looks like Cater's starting to push up a little bit more than the 3 car is.
Well, looking back here, that 31, Dan Denaire really wants to see a battle happen in front of him because he's only 4 car lengths back from the battle here, so he might be a winner here.
He's been kind of stalking the top 5 all night, man. He's kind of like we saw in the truck series. He's clean, consistent, just sitting there.
Now, Thomas, this is about the time we saw James Howard light up the last time, so do you think he can do it again?
Well, he's got a little bit further to go this time. It's already 1.7 seconds off the lead, so I'm going to have to turn the wick up a little bit. Still got 39 to go, so don't want to burn your tires off yet, but definitely looks like I'm going to mention the 42 came through, but the 42 gapped a little bit to 1 and 2.
It's going to be interesting here. I don't know. This is going to be shaping up for a nice battle for the lead here soon, I think. There he is. James Howard makes his way by the 5 of Wayne Grass.
I don't know where you're going to be at now. If you're still alive with us, hang on. Trey got disconnected from iRacing, so we're going to have to reboot here.
Waving at you, iRacing.
Well, hide your love things and don't show any your personal files there. Random kick there from iRacing. Not sure what the dealio with that would be.
We could do some MRN or PRN, whatever it is, style commentating for the time being, if you want, Thomas.
I mean, I'm down.
I'll be like Dave Moody in the corners, just yelling whenever the cars come by.
There's massive aliens in 3 and 4. We haven't missed anything, folks. David Cater's still your leader. Gonna hold off, still holding off Craig White, currently P2. Dan Denaire still P3. And Matt, who's that behind him?
That's going to be the number 4, James Howard. He's making his way up.
I believe the switch may have cut on that 4 car.
And speaking of switches, Thomas, the switch on my internet has just clicked on.
Oh, you guys just have all kind of problems tonight.
You're the only one that has smooth sailing all the way. And oh, there we go. We're back. And James Howard, oh man, he cut a big chunk of the lead down from David Cater, sitting 0.6 of a second right now behind him.
Man, that car comes to life. It comes to life.
I think that's the afterburner on the back of that Verizon machine. Well, first car one lap down just signaled he's coming down to pit road here. So oh boy, something else, more action happening farther back in the pack. I think somebody was slow through the D oval. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh. We got the leaders
All right, man,
getting
caution is
around.
out. Caution is out.
17 looks like he lost it as he was trying to
Still sitting
manage
on the
lap
track.
traffic. Ooh, 17 pounded that outside wall pretty hard with his back end. Trying to get a car number for you with what happened at the beginning of
Oh,
this.
yeah. Looks like maybe the 01 again involved? Or was
01
it
was slow on the front, and the 51 just kind of got into the back of him.
Yeah, wow. That is well off the pace in the front.
Well, folks, that changes everything. We're going to be inside of 30 laps to go, and it takes about 20 laps now for that four to kind of
Oh,
catch
yeah.
fire and come to the front. So you might not see the four car in victory lane, and I don't say he's not going to make it, but it's going to be an uphill battle for him for sure.
Now, Trey, when you go back live here, I might suggest reloading the ticker because it appears to be stuck on 39 to go. Another great gremlin of the iRacing kick, I believe. As we do have pit stops taking place, as you said, Matt. 30 to go here. Obviously, fuel not a question now. If we stay green, you're going to make it to the end on the tires you have. So, going to have to make maybe some air pressure adjustments for that four to get them up to speed a little quicker.
Ooh, just noticed the 42 had kind of a slow stop getting into his box, so it might put the 3, Craig White, in the catbird seat to take the lead. We'll see.
But yeah, we've seen these pit stops can be a nightmare. 42 gets a good jump out of there.
When he got in, it was slow getting the right side jacked up, and I thought he kind of rolled through his pits box just a little
That's
bit.
actually one of the quickest pit stops of the top three.
Insert foot here.
You just never know. Sometimes it might take 8 seconds to jack up the right sides, and it seems like they put the left on in half a second. So never know with the old iRacing, a random pit stop generator.
Sometimes they like you, sometimes they don't.
Without a doubt. Well, I gotta say, 29 laps. That might be a little stretch for Cater to hold off the four. I mean, if the four can make just a slight adjustment to get that car a little bit quicker off the line, I think he's got something for these guys.
This is going to be a battle, so stay tuned because this is going to get probably wet, wild, and crazy.
It's been one wet, hot night in Charlotte. Well, day, I guess, since it's not technically night.
Yeah, and I believe our tent is on fire over there off of turn 3. So
Well, that's what happens when you leave window in the tent passed out. So
well, we don't have to come back, hopefully. So to Charlotte, not this league. I'd love to come
not
back to
for a
this
while.
league. I don't know if you guys watched all our streams, but I think we've been to Charlotte. What is it? 5 times in the last
2 weeks.
2 weeks, is it?
Just
So
like the real life stuff, we've been here for all the events.
Getting kind of sick of North Carolina.
Yeah, we do have well, we actually lost cars on the lead lap through this exchange, but we got Chuck Sweeting back on the lead lap with that beat to hell, I guess is the only way to put it, I-tape machine. Well, was Gil Gawk managed to get back up to P11. We saw him get the lucky dog last time. So Ned Adams still sitting P8. Pat McCorder still P9. Not a whole lot of life out of them, Matt. That's still maybe that's all they've got in those cars. We thought they might make a charge to the front, but they kind of just settled back there in the back half of the top 10.
Yeah, that's true. The 53, Randall Ballard, he was on the made that big strategy call there in the first cycle of pit stops, sitting P7. That's pretty good considering he qualified P20, so It's a nice little increase for him.
It's quite the net. Just like the 22 there, Wayne in the 5 car. He's sitting P5, qualified P22. So actually didn't even qualify. Started P22 in the field with a random iRating generator. So that's a solid improvement for that 5 car.
I know I'd be happy with that, Thomas. As they get double
Yeah.
five.
Considering the names in front of me, just we know James from what he's done in this league. David Cater, Craig, what he's done in this league. We saw you're holding off Ned Adams, a league. I'm assuming one of the elder statesmen of the league, been here forever. When you're holding off guys like that, you're having a good, solid night.
Well, I just say that, Thomas. Ned Adams has won 4 championships in the Xfinity series. So I think
He might know a thing or two. I don't know.
He might have her figured out.
Well, they're going to figure it out one more time. We've got 27 to go.
Green, green, green.
Cater with the late jump there after the green.
Well, that's a good start for that 4 car. The 3 and the 31 on the outside line seem to be kind of bleeding out just a little bit. It's the 5 of Wayne Grass trying to make a move, maybe. Ooh, the 31.
Way up the hill there.
Allow the 45 and probably a whole host of others to get by. No,
you think the Ford's going to be aggressive here, Matt? Just try and make his move early and then hold him off?
That would be what I would be hoping for, Thomas, I think, because we know that he's really good in the long run, and he knows that too. So you're going to try to get to the point, and you want to set the pace yourself as he dives low on Cater going through the quad oval here.
The answer to that would be yes. Without a doubt, as he's going to make the move into turn 1.
Man, he's flying there now as he takes the point with force.
Yeah, he made that look easy. He just sailed around Cater. I don't see if Cater can rebound here. He's got the 5 and the 3 still side by side in turn 3. Got the 31 rebound a little bit, trying to run right back on the deck lid of that 3 car.
Now, let's see what lane's going to be moving here. Kind of like Daytona and Talladega, you want to be in the moving lane, and sometimes it's the high line here we saw tonight, so see if it still is. He's kind of running the middle in between them, trying to figure out where he wants to go.
Sometimes you're just stuck in the middle with nowhere to go, man.
Sometimes that is the case.
Oh, the 45 still hanging on to these guys as well. Mr. Deckler, he's trying to, and they got real close at a turn 4 there between the 3 and the 5.
Oh, battle for the lead. David Cater looking low on the 4. James Howard. Can he get it done? We have a great battle here. We might be 3 wide through 1 and 2.
Battles everywhere.
That's a lot of work for, I know our producer, Trey Landry. He's up there clicking some buttons and trying to figure out where he wants to watch because this is just great racing all the way around. David Cater takes the lead with even more commanding fashion than James did earlier.
And they're still side by side back there behind them for a 3rd spot.
Dan and Air, he's just sitting back there. Come on, give me a hole.
Come on, move out of the way, man. I just need to get by you guys. Well, welcome to Baptism by Fire, Mr. Landry, as your cameraman trying to find all the action tonight.
I think he's doing a whale of a job, though, Thomas.
Yeah, without a doubt.
A lot better than I'd be doing. Ooh, there you see the 4 kind of hit that cliff of his short run speed, which he has not much of.
It's just amazing that he got the run out of the car to get by him, but it's almost like the car then just falls off, and it takes, like you said, about 20 laps to finally get it going again.
And that's not something you want to see, especially with the 4, because we don't have many laps left. We're working 114 and 134, so we're closing in on 20 to go here this time.
Hopefully he can get a podium. We can bring him in for an interview and see what maybe he had tuned in that setup, because it's a very odd setup to have to wait on the car to have a little short burst and then wait on it and then be really, really stout in the long run.
Yeah, it is very bass backwards, as it were. Nice little gaggle of cars here, 31, 45, 84, and 53. And the 5 now just joined that gaggle.
Looks like the 84 is showing some life, man. I said they hadn't moved up much. He's already back up to P7 on the back deck lid of that 45 machine.
He's looking to make some moves here. These guys start battling in front of him. He should be able to make some, I think. He has a hot rod there that he's been just going to save him to the end of this event.
Those guys that were side by side in front of him for that long, it's really just stacked up this whole back half of the top 10. You get the 3 trying to work over the 4, but it didn't work that time. Going to allow the 5 to get a little bit of a run. And once again, 31 just trying to figure out a way around.
It's kind of hard. You're kind of in a log jam there with the amount of cars and the battles in front of you. You don't want to push it 3 wide because really there's not that much grip to be had here. But
With only 18 to go, you got to go somewhere, Matt.
it's time to make the move. And David Cater's out to a commanding lead right now, almost a second over our second place driver, James Howard. Ooh, the three's diving
Oh,
deep.
man.
Wow, that was close.
That
It
was a
made me
clincher.
cringe a bit there, yeah.
He's like, bro, just move, man. I'm faster right now.
And I think you might take the hint here. The 4 goes in the middle lane, and the 3's working the bottom. See if we can make it work off of turn 2. Might lose him here into the 3.
They can keep her down there. It's really tight corner. That 4 is really starting to use all the track now, though. Come do that late arc on him and pinch him off. It's a veteran move, wouldn't you say, man?
It is. And speaking of veterans, here the 82 of Gil Gock sitting back there in P9. He's running very nice times right now, and he's top 10, and he's moving up. So win-win for him there.
Yeah, we saw him take that wave around. It's really benefited him here. He's made the most of it and got himself in a solid top 10.
Oh boy, this is a gaggle of cars behind race leader David Cater, and you know wants to see that. But James Howard starting to turn it on just a little bit here with 15 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, not enough though. A 38 to a 14 to a 41. That's it's not gonna be enough. As a 3 still trying to get by him.
Oh, 45. Haven't talked much about him. Harold Decker looking low here. Not going to be able to make it. Might get to the door of Wayne Grass there in the 5 car.
He was a player in the truck series until late in the race where he found trouble. So I'm sure Mr. Decker's looking to get around here and get a solid top 5.
Ooh, he gets in a little bit high in that corner. Might make it work though. Dan Denair's right under
31 thought
bumpers.
about it, didn't he? He's like, 3 wide? No.
He could do it here, but that'd be wicked tight.
I think he'd just rather push him and say, get around him, man.
Yeah.
Five car still giving him plenty of room. That's nice to see. Ooh, is he just about scrubs the wall there at a 4?
84, Pat McCorder looking on the high side around the 31, Dan Denair.
You can look, but you may not receive.
It's the easy part's catching the guy. The hard part is making a pass on him. 31 slides at the track. Wow, that was close.
That was almost a repeat of the 60 and the 66.
Some flashbacks there for sure. 84, Pat McCorder looking to make his way up to P6, trying to get by the 45. Not going to happen this time, I don't think.
To regroup and try it again there. Got the lap machine of Chuck Sweeting getting lapped here. Gonna maybe get set as a pick. No, he's gonna go way up out of the groove. That's a classy move there into the race.
Oh, the 4 is catching David Cater in a hurry right now. 0.3 of a second almost quicker that time by.
Maybe he tweaked her a little bit sooner this time. You know, the 3 is still right there with him as well.
This is going to be a great battle for the race win as we're closing on 10 to go this time by. So
Your Cater's not just gonna roll over, and if you get these guys running side by side, Craig's it's gonna start licking his chops. Well, I know I would, man. But it's been a while since I've won, so
Same here, Thomas.
I don't even think a fortnight covers that. 4 gonna start working that high line through 1 and 2. Already trying to move around, see what he can get here.
He's going to have to make a different lane work as he gets one heck of a run coming off of turn 2 there.
We're looking at a little Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Labonte finish here.
I was thinking Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson where James tried it in a video game and it just didn't quite stick.
Oh, he's gonna make it stick. God, he's almost started to the outside of James. Well, look at it already. Cater here. He's gonna definitely drive it in hard through 1 and 2, see if he can get to his outside.
Now, if James sees that, Cater's going to wash up just a touch, so maybe he can get a nice run on the inside, which he will here. Sticks out. He's hard to make passes down low, but if anybody can do it, it'll be that 4 car.
I don't know if he's gonna get it done right off the bat. Oh, little wash up there allows the 42 to get by, that's the 4 to get by the 42. So but James back to the point.
Craig White right now catching up to the back end of the 42, David Cater, so he might be under fire yet again.
Yeah, we
Cater's
got
catching some lap
lap car
traffic here.
too. Yeah, and that could play a factor. I don't think it will. 4 can pretty much go where he wants to. Just looks like to me
42.
maybe that 42 is a little too tight off the corner exits.
Yeah, for sure, Thomas. But he's not letting the 4 get too far in front of him.
No, but the three's also getting closer, closer, and closer. I think what's a little deceiving too is that 4's running the high line through 1 and 2, so he loses all that through the corner, but down the back stretch he just pulls away.
Yeah, that's for sure, Thomas. And Craig White looks like he might be able to put the 42 under fire, which is what James will want to see, I know. Closing in on the race end here, not many laps remaining, so.
Oh, we got those guys going at it. We still have the 31 and the 84 still side by side here. This is for a top 5 position, so I guess I'll eat my own words. That 84 has found some speed here at the end. He's no back half of the top 10 kind of guy.
No, and we're catching up to Wayne Grass there in P4, so the 84 makes a nice move there and cut through turn 1 and 2.
It looks like he might have the run as we
The
got a
42!
42.
Looks like he got loose. Oh, he hit the wall coming out of turn 2 and has major
man.
right side damage. His car actually jumped a couple of times and it hit and it just dug, and then he kind of lost it and went down to the apron.
Big hit. Well, pretty much the same we saw out of Chuck Sweeting. So tough break there for David at the end. Running P2, probably not even going to come home with a top 15 now.
No, and he had a great car, Thomas. That's just a shame to see, really.
Yeah, without a doubt. I know that takes some of the pressure off of James.
That 3 is still lapping pretty quick, so it's not going to be totally, pressure totally be off, but a little bit more breathing room.
We just ran a 27 to his 60, so yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, that's a decent drop off there. Well, the 84 looking for the 3rd position as he puts the 5 of Wayne Grass under fire.
I say everybody got to move up a spot, so that's not top 5. This is for a podium. I really have to eat my words now.
I believe the 84 is going to be a bit too far away from Craig White to make it.
To go. I don't think that's going to be any kind of...
But nonetheless, we saw a great race here tonight, and it's not done yet. Anything can happen here in this. Stay right till the end.
Clearly, I thought we had the top 2 wrapped up pretty good here. At least the top 3 were kind of content, and then we saw the 42 find trouble as the 5 is going to try and go back around the 84 for P3.
And Dan Nair likes to see that. He's looking to get a little bit closer up. He's sitting P5 right now, but Harold Decker, it's not that far behind him.
31's looking for the right flight path to get a podium here.
So the least amount of turbulence.
Our
leader's loose.
Wow, that was close. He could back it down just a touch,
That about gave me the heebie-jeebies, so I couldn't imagine what it's doing to him right now in that car.
Well, then it gets in your head again. It's like, okay, man, it did that last time. Only gonna do this one more time as we're on the white flag. Just please stick together through 1 and 2 this time.
Yeah, for sure. It only let Craig White in that 3 catch up by about a tenth and a half, so not too bad of a loss there.
Well, it's not often, Matt, that the fastest car wins the races we stream. Normally it's a little strategy comes into play, but tonight, without a doubt, this 4 car of James Howard, he's going to be the class of field and your winner.
Win number 5 on the season in 10 races. He's spanking this field here in the PRN Xfinity Series. Another great race we saw tonight, Thomas.
Without a doubt, we got Craig White going to come home P2, Pat Porter going to come home P3. Just a solid run by these guys, just nowhere you could really hide. You had to have the speed to run up front, and that showed all night. Even at the end there with David, if you made one mistake, you were just out to lunch.
Yeah, this was just a perfect combination, I think, here. Drivers, cars, and tracks. So couldn't ask for more.
David did hang on to a top 12 there, but that's not going to be, I don't think, any comfort to him at all, knowing what kind of speed he had that car tonight. Well, I guess once these guys get settled on pit lane here a little bit, Matt, we can start grabbing those top 3 drivers for some interviews.
That sounds good to me. First one on deck, unless he's not in the channel right now. Pat McCorder. Alrighty. Well,
Let's grab them up, Kingston.
sorry, I just had to figure out how to not be stupid here. I'm gonna go just grab him out of midair. Pat McCorder. Bring him down here and slow little drive to our broadcast booth. There he is, your P3
It's
finisher.
just a little pull. You gotta pull them slowly. All right, Pat, you're our P3 finisher tonight. A solid run there at the end. I can go ahead and tell you, I was counting you out for a solid top 5 there. You're kind of meandering around the back half of the top 10, and there at the end, you grabbed the old car by the bootstraps there and drove her up to P3.
Yeah, guys, that's kind of how I race. I try not to wear the car out early and have something there at the end of a run, and just kind of worked out tonight. I think if I had a few more laps, I might have done better than third.
Yeah, we can do a few more laps. I think James is going to start sweating some bullets there. That car was starting to get a little hard for him to handle there. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little more tonight? How was the track temp and car combo? We saw a lot of just multiple lanes used tonight from top to bottom. It was refreshing to see.
Yeah, I was kind of all over the place early on. It's the bottom is the way to go, and there about middle of the race, I kind of went up to the high side and was starting to gain some ground up there too. But then I think the rubber came in up there, and then about that time we went back down to the bottom. You really had to go to the bottom if you make the passes work.
Pat, how key was momentum here? We know the B cars you need to usually have quite a decent amount of momentum built up, like a head of steam. So, was it a real bad night? Say you had to check up for something in front of you. How long did it take to kind of get the car back wound up?
Well, you're right. These cars you want to keep them rolling. So I didn't really run into too many problems tonight. I had one incident where I had a car getting to the wall right in front of me, and I had to make a pretty quick maneuver. But overall, they just seemed to be like if you took care of entry and backed your car up little by little, you could really have something. It was very loose on exit of 4, I noticed.
Yeah, that seemed to be a either you were a loose kind of guy or a tight kind of guy out of 4, and just depend on what your car had in it tonight. Well, Pat, before we let you go, something we always like to do here on the stream, let you get your shout outs to anybody you want to tonight, or anybody you want to yell at, or just anybody you want to thank.
Of course, I want to thank my teammates, Ned, and he's been my buddy here for PRN for a long time. We've seen this league build, and we're real proud of it. I want to say again, big thanks to Chuck for sponsoring the broadcast. And that's about it. Thanks to all the racers out here. It's the members make the league what it is.
Without a doubt, I believe Matt mentioned earlier how incredible it is to see 31 guys come out on a Saturday night, Memorial Weekend, and come out here and have a great race at Charlotte. So, big kudos to you guys in the league for making that happen.
Yeah, you guys do a great job too. And I just want to say a quick shout out to all the veterans and everybody in Memorial Day. And so thanks for having us.
Alrighty, folks, there's your P3 finisher. Matt, let's see if we can grab P2.
Gonna run up pit lane here and see if I can grab him. There he is, out of thin air. Craig White, your P2 finisher here tonight with a great run, great car. And tell us a little bit about your night there, Craig.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Tight race car, really. I tightened it up a lot due to the weather. And, I was changing up lanes, high lane, low lane, trying to get something for James, but he was good tonight.
Oh, Craig, we saw you had probably arguably one of the best short run cars in the night. Maybe David was a little better, but were you kind of maybe licking your chops a little bit, seeing how you had a little bit of a shorter run there, and you could maybe get around James and hold him off?
you know that. Then I seen him running the high line when he passed me, so I said, well, I'll move up, but no. he was strong.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, you kept him honest. We saw her. I believe it was 2 to go. We saw James have a little moment, and I'm sure that brought a little life back in your eyes, saying, "Oh man, if he can get that loose one more time, I got a shot at this."
That's right. Yeah, a lot of fun. Good guys, great drivers.
Well, alrighty, Craig. Before we let you go, anyone you need to give a shout out to tonight? Anybody like to think? Something we do here on the stream, let you get your shout outs out.
Well, the three white boys, like a little group there, we've been together probably for 6, 7 years. We play around with setups during the week there. So shout out to them. All thanks for them.
Alrighty there, folks. There's your P2 runner tonight. Solid car all night long. Craig White gonna come home bring P2 after starting P2, so solid night for him.
Yeah, thanks for putting on the show, guys.
There you have it, and grabbing them now. Your race winner and undoubtedly one of the best cars in the long run we've seen here tonight at Charlotte, James Howard, bringing home, I think it is your 5th win this season in 10 races, James.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this track, this car combo. We had one of the best cars on the long runs. It was kind of hard at the beginning of the run to make sure that we could hang on enough so that at the end of the run we'd have enough to get around them.
Yeah, that's something both myself and Matt noticed all night long. About 15, 20 laps, you really came in on your own. So how concerning was that at the end when you knew you had a little bit of a shorter run and had to make something happen earlier on in the run?
Yeah, I tried to keep track throughout the race. It seemed like it was around that 15 lap mark. So that last caution, didn't really want to see it, but tried to decide if I should make any adjustments or not. Crew chief said, let's just leave it like it is because it's 30 laps to the end. So it seemed like the right call.
Well, James, that run, not the last one, but the one before the last one, if you can remember back to there, it seemed that your car wasn't handling all that well. You fell back farther than we've ever seen you fall back on a start before. Did you do any adjustments then, or was it just a bad set of tires or something?
Neither one really. It was we had about 50 laps to go. I knew if it went in green till the end, I needed to have some tires left. So I knew we weren't going to pit. I don't think the other guys were going to pit, but even if they were, we were staying out, and I needed to just make sure we didn't burn our stuff up there on the early part of that run.
So you did the smart call there that Thomas and I just couldn't figure out if there was something that was ill handling or not.
Well, he did make me a genius there. I'd said they weren't going to come back in. I knew they were going to try and run that to the finish if they could make it on fuel. So at least they got one call right tonight, Matt.
And I'll say that at the beginning of the race, we had that long green flag run, and my plans were to stay out till about 45, and Cater hit pit road at 32, so I came a lap after he did.
We noticed that short pit, and we had talked about that. And we noticed once one guy did it, that just set the domino effect. I guess with the drop off in tires, you guys just really couldn't wait it out like we saw some other guys maybe back in the field trying to.
Yeah, you plan these races as if they're going to go green, and you know better, but that's really all you can plan for at the beginning of the race. So we we were going to do 45 lap runs there, and do that strategy if it went green the whole race. Obviously it didn't, but when he hit 32, you know I think we still may have had the better strategy. Obviously cautions dictated the rest of it, but yeah, it kind of would have been interesting to see how it would have played out.
Well, without a doubt, like Matt mentioned, definitely the best car on the long run all night. So before we let you go, James, anybody you need to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, my crew chief Tom Mastakis, helps me go fast, and helps me strategize during the race. So I really couldn't do it without him. Paint the yellow. Been with them for a long time. Those guys, that whole group is great. They've helped me get here today as well. So, just have a lot of fun doing this.
Well, like we mentioned earlier in the other interviews, 31 guys on a Saturday night having this heck of a race. I think if you can walk away with a win tonight, it's a really, really good thing. Really, a proud moment to be able to walk away with a win on a Memorial Day weekend with 31 clean, hard racers tonight.
I'm kind of still a rookie with this group. I came over to race with these guys, last 10 weeks of last year, and didn't do great. I did okay, but never gonna win. And then this season, I guess I figured it out a little bit. And I mean, this Premier League is doing an awesome job. I've been doing sim racing for 20 years now, and leagues come and go left and right. And for these guys to have what they have, the weekends are the hardest nights to pull groups of guys together. And, some of these cars and tracks aren't the most popular combinations, and they're still pulling full fields. So these guys do a fantastic job here as well.
Without a doubt, a very, very impressive show and league. Not just we've only seen the two here on the broadcast, but I've poked my head in a little bit to when Chuck gave us the notification that he wanted us to stream some. He said, "Come and check them out, see if you can see the guys." And I've seen up and down the entire league just the respect I pointed out tonight during pit stops, just the simple things of calling out when you're pitting, telling people when you're leaving, just to give them a heads up. Things we haven't seen maybe in other streams that have caused troubles. It's just been commonplace here where people can just be respectful and race hard but clean.
Yeah, that's exactly. They also do, even when guys are lapped down, they don't cause issues. They get out of the way. They do a fantastic job here.
Yeah, like Thomas said, this is probably one of the best leagues, best run leagues, and great group of guys that run it, especially here on weekends. What you said is very hard to pull people in, and especially this weekend being at Memorial Day. And I know a lot of you guys are from the States, and that's definitely a big deal, which it should be over there. And it's just great to see the amount of cars. We had 31 tonight and 31 in the truck race too last weekend. So this seems to be one of the leagues that are here to stay.
Oh yeah, and I think they've been around for years as well. So they've definitely figured it out, and I don't think they're going anywhere.
As I looked a joke with Gil Gawk, I believe they were here even before Gil, which is hard to believe. Well, I guess we should start wrapping it up here, Matt. We've got our interviews out of the way. We've seen a great race. Only 3 cautions tonight with 31 people on a hot, slick day track at Charlotte. That's pretty amazing.
That is nothing short of spectacular, Thomas.
Before we let you go, we are going to finish out covering your final results here, so we can see. We told you your top 3, but let's see who else we can get a hold of here. So we had James Howard walk away with a win, as we saw earlier. Craig White going to come home P2. Pac-Man Horror going to come home P3. Wayne Grass P4. We saw that great battle between the 5 and the 84 at the end there. That was a hotly contested third place battle. Dan Nickner going to wrap out your top 5 with Brett Lee going to come home P6. Randall Ballard P7. Harold Deco going to roll up P8. Andy Trinko going to roll up P9. And Tim Phillips rounds out your top 10 tonight, folks. Gilgal just missing out on that top 10 with a P11, and I believe the heartbreak story. If you guys go back and catch the stream, David Cater running P2 at the end and just found a little contact with the wall and gonna end up coming home P12 tonight. Ned Adams gonna come home P13 after making a little contact, well, getting caught up in some contact with a 60 out of turn 4 in one of our very few cautions tonight. And the last car that finished on the lead lap tonight, boys, Jason Moon gonna roll off. Oh, gonna roll off. Wow, I'm already losing it, Matt. Gonna finish up P14 tonight. So solid. Like I said, only 3 cautions, still 14 cars on the lead lap. That's a solid night overall for the league.
And especially the long green flag runs we've seen, this is definitely, if anybody's interested in joining our race and getting a nice, fun, clean league, check out premierracenetwork.com, and you could possibly make your way into one of these races.
I tell you what, boys, I was impressed. You guys mentioned it during the broadcast. It seems like we've been here forever. I think Chuck put up the tent outside of Turn 4, stocked it full of the Monster Energy girls, and to be honest, and I don't want to seem like I'm kissing butt or brown nosing or nothing, but in my opinion, out of all the broadcasts we made here at Charlotte, I think the 2 that we did for PRN have by far been the most exciting. 31 drivers, I believe, in both races. what is 3, 4 cautions tonight? Not many cautions in the previous truck race, but it was just outstanding. I mean, it was. I mentioned to you guys during the broadcast, there was so much going on. I didn't know where to look. I mean, it was just, it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I know it was your first night as a cameraman there, Trey. I'm sure we threw you into the pool in the deep end when covering battles left and right. It was just so hard to pick a battle. It was either the battle for the lead, as we saw, multiple lead changes, or it was a battle for someone trying to break into the top 10 or keep a lucky dog. It was just, like you said, hard to cover all night. But I'm sure you got most of it, right?
Yeah, I tried. Hopefully the guys at PRN and Chuck's happy. Honestly, I hope we can do this again. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely worth spending Friday and Saturday night with these guys. It's been a lot of fun. But you guys mentioned it during the broadcast. I think one of the drivers brought it up, but it is Memorial Day weekend, and I myself am a veteran. 21 years I spent in the military. This is Memorial Day weekend, so if you're a veteran out there, appreciate your service. I know this weekend's not about us; it's about our fallen comrades. But even if you're not a veteran, go out there, have your barbecues, have a good time. But when you sit down to the table to do so, when you're with your family and friends, raise a glass, give a toast to the U.S. service member, because we wouldn't be able to do this tonight without their sacrifices.
Couldn't have said that better myself, Trey. We get to have fun while they pay the ultimate sacrifice just so we could, get on here and play some virtual race cars every now and then. Well, with that, I guess we'll wrap up for the night there, Mr. Landry. Mr. Kingston, anything else?
Nothing other than great racing and just an amazing league, I guess.
Amen.
Well, you just heard him, Trey Landry, Matt Kingston. I'm Thomas Morris. This has been OCR TV bringing you the PRN League Xfinity Series tonight here at Charlotte. You want to check them out? We also did their truck race. If you want to see another awesome, great race streamed, or you know what, like Matt said, go ahead and venture over to the website and check them out. Maybe you can apply for the league if you like what you saw here tonight. But until we see you again, which will be tomorrow night, uh, check us out tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night we're going to bring 3 wide, right, Thomas?
Yes, sir. We'll be at Auto Club tomorrow night, so pack your bags, boys. We're going across the country.
Time to go south. I like it. Sorry, west. I like it.
Wow, I don't think we can go much more south, Matt.
We're just falling apart here.
Tell you what, see ya. How about that? Just see ya.
See ya!